Alright, today I will be showing you how to sew an invisible zipper into the back of a dress, but you can use it to sew it into pretty much any garment. First off, you will want to use a zipper foot, something like this, if you have that in your stash, or even this is a metal version of this. If you're really lucky, you have something like this foot. And I'll explain why this is better later, but this is much easier to use. And if you don't have one of these, I recommend getting one. They're really cheap on Amazon, only a couple dollars plus shipping. So this is plastic, so it's pretty cheap. And then of course there is your regular foot, and it's really hard to do an invisible zipper with a regular foot, to be honest. I wouldn't really do it. I would get one of these. And your machine might have come with a couple feet, and this is usually one of the most basic ones that it will come with. So if you have one of these, I recommend using it. And to attach it onto your machine, you just unscrew it here and remove your old foot, and then this kind of just like hooks onto the machine like that. And then you screw it, tighten it with the screw. So it just hooks on just like that. And so I guess we'll get started. All right. Okay, for this project I'm going to be using this failed dress that I think I talked about a while ago on the blog. Just didn't work out, but I could use it for purposes of showing you how to use an invisible zipper. Now, first off, you should be able to tell the difference between an invisible zipper and a zipper. An invisible zipper, as you can see, you won't be able to see any of the actual zipper when it's closed. This right here is just a regular zipper, and as you can see all the metal teeth, and this would not be invisible. And they are made very differently. If you open it up, hold on a sec. If you open it up and turn it around, you can see that the zipper is actually rolled a little bit into the zipper tape here. It's kind of rolled so you can peel it back a little bit. So you'll want to be stitching in this tiny little groove here, and when you're stitching you want to pull back this tiny zipper so that you can get it as close to the teeth as possible without actually catching the teeth, and then it rolls back onto your stitch, so that's what makes it invisible. Alright, let's get started. Okay, first unzip your zipper. Do that. Sorry, I'm working with one hand, so it's a little difficult. Okay. And now that you have it unzipped most of the way, you want to pin it to the opening of your garment. This is the right side and this is the wrong side. The white side is the wrong side. So keep in mind that when you're pinning this, you want it to look correct when you're done. So I suggest flipping it over so that the wrong side of the zipper is showing, and then match up the top of this to the top of your garment like this. And if you want, you can fold over the top piece. You can see the zipper starts right here, the actual plastic or metal part of your zipper. So I like to fold it over, and then if you want, you can pin this in place all the way down. I would say until you get about 2 inches away from the bottom of your zipper. Just pin it all the way down, and then do the same on the other side. Okay, I have this pinned now. You can see it's pinned, and I left it unpinned about 3 inches away from the bottom, but you can do 2 inches away or 1 inch, just a little bit away from the bottom of the zipper. And after you do this, you should baste the zipper to the garment, and basting is just hand sewing very long stitches. It should only take you like 5 minutes at most, and if it's taking you any longer, then you're doing the stitches way too small. And in fact, you don't even have to do this step. If you think that you can hold the zipper in place while you're sewing, you don't even need to pin it and you don't need to baste it. I don't really like to pin my zippers while I'm sewing them because it's just extra work, and I can usually keep them in place when I'm sewing. But if you're a beginner and you're not quite comfortable doing that, then I would recommend pinning it and then basting it, which is just, like I said, making long stitches with a needle. And then take out the pins after you're done basting it. Okay, now we're here at the sewing machine with your zipper foot. And what makes the zipper foot useful is that instead of, you can see with a regular foot, you can't get quite as close to the edge as you would with this foot. This has little tiny grooves in here that allow you to get very, very close. And when you're sewing a zipper foot, when you're sewing a zipper, you want to place it here at the top, and then while you're sewing, you want to unroll this a little bit so that you can get as close to the teeth as possible. See how this kind of just rolls out a little bit? So I will try to start here with one hand. Okay. Alright, now, as I'm sewing, I'm trying to stay as close to the teeth as possible. And since I'm doing this with one hand, please forgive me if, for some reason, the picture leaves the tiny window. Hold on a sec. Now I'm using black thread here so you can see better. And it's really hard to do this with one hand, so it might not come out quite perfect. But you can see what I'm doing. I'm just getting as close to the teeth as possible while rolling out the zipper. And I'm going to keep doing that until I get to the bottom on both sides, until I get to about 2 inches from the bottom of the zipper. Okay, I just wanted to show you now how to do this with an actual invisible zipper foot. As you can see, this is a little bit different. With this, there's far less hand-eye coordination involved, and you can go a lot faster. So what it is basically is you can see there are 2 grooves under here, and one is used for when you're sewing on the left side and one is when you're sewing on the right side. So right now we're sewing on the left side. So I'm going to unroll the zipper just a little bit and place it underneath that first groove. Now that you can see it's inside that first groove, I'm going to sew. And that's it. That's it. No hand-eye coordination whatsoever, just sewing. It's so much easier. And it'll just get in that groove for you instead of you having to roll it out and keep an eye on whether or not the zipper is falling off of the fabric. It's just so much easier. I definitely recommend this one instead. Now I'll try to show you how to use a regular foot to do an invisible zipper, which is a lot harder.